These things happened to me nearly 10 years ago. I lived in a city, but the city was hot in summer. I wanted to see the country. I wanted to walk in the woods and see green trees. I had a little red car, and I had a map too. I drove all night out into the country. I was happy in my car. We had a very good summer that year. The country was very pretty in the early morning. The sun was hot, and the sky was blue. I heard the birds in the trees, and then my car stopped suddenly. What's wrong, I thought. Oh dear, I haven't got any petrol now. I'll have to walk. I'll have to find a town and buy some petrol. But where am I? I looked at the map. I wasn't near a town. I was lost in the country, and then I saw the girl. She walked down the road with flowers in her hand. She wore a long dress, and her hair was long too. It was long and black, and it shone in the sun. She was very pretty. I wanted to speak to her, so I got out of the car.
"Hello," I said.
"I'm lost. Where am I?" She looked afraid, so I spoke quietly. "I haven't got any petrol," I said. "Where can I find some?" Her blue eyes looked at me, and she smiled. She's a very pretty girl, I thought.
"I do not know," she said.
"Come with me to the village. Perhaps we can help you." I went with her happily, and we walked a long way. There isn't a village on the map, I thought. Perhaps it's a very small village. There was a village, and it was old and pretty. The houses were black and white and very small. There were a lot of animals. The girl stopped at a house and smiled at me.
"Come in, please," she said.
I went in. The house was very clean, but it was strange too. There was a fire and some food above it. I felt hungry then. That's strange, I thought. They cook their food over a wood fire. Perhaps they have no money. I met her father and mother, and I liked them. They were nice people, but their clothes were strange.
"Sit down," said the old man.
"Are you thirsty after your walk?" He gave me a drink, and I said, "Thank you." But the drink was strange, too. It was dark brown and very strong. I didn't understand, but I was happy there. I asked about petrol, but the old man didn't understand.
"Petrol?"
he asked.
"What is that?"
This is strange, I thought. Then I asked, "Do you walk everywhere?" The old man smiled. "Oh no, we use horses." He said, "Horses," I thought. Horses are very slow. Why don't they have cars? But I didn't say that to the old man. I felt happy there. I stayed all day, and I ate dinner with them that evening. Then the girl and I went out into the garden. The girl's name was Mary.
"See, this is nice," she said.
"We like having visitors. We do not have many people here." We spoke happily. She was very beautiful, but after a time, she began to talk quietly, and her face was sad. "Why are you sad?" I asked her.
"I cannot tell you," she said.
"You are only a visitor here. We have to say goodbye tonight. You have to go now." I didn't understand. I loved her. I knew that, and I wanted to help her. Why did I have to go? But Mary said again in a sad voice, "You have to go. It is dangerous here." So I said, "I'll go to the next town and find some petrol. Then I'll come back." She didn't speak. "I love you, Mary," I said, "and I'll come back to you. You won't stop me." She said goodbye to me at the door. Her face was very sad, and I was sad too. I didn't want to go. It was midnight. The night was very dark, but I walked and walked. I was very tired when I saw the lights of a town. I found some petrol, and then I asked the name of the village. But the man at the garage gave me a strange look. "What village?" he asked. I told him about the village. I told him about the old houses and the people with strange clothes. Again, he gave me a strange look. Then he said there was a village there, but it isn't there now. There are stories about it, strange stories.
What do people say about it? I asked.
He didn't want to tell me, but then he said there was a big fire in the village. Everybody died. There aren't any people or houses there now. How did it happen?
I asked. And why?
Oliver Cromwell killed them, he said. He was angry with the villagers because they helped the king in the war. I couldn't speak. This isn't right, I thought. That war happened 350 years ago. Then I remembered the strange clothes, the long hair, the food over the fire, and the old houses. And I remembered, too, about the horses. But I don't understand, I cried. I saw the people and the village. I spoke to some people there. The man looked quickly at me, and then he spoke. There's an interesting story about the village. For one day every 10 years, it lives again, but only for one day. Then it goes away again for another 10 years. On that one day you can find the village, but you have to leave before morning, or you will never leave.
Can this be right?
I thought. Perhaps it was. Mary said you have to go. She loved me, but she said we have to say goodbye. She was afraid for me. Now I understand, I thought. I went back to the village, but it wasn't there. I looked again and again, but I couldn't find it. I saw only flowers and trees. I heard only the sound of the birds and the wind. I was very sad. I sat down on the ground and cried. I will never forget that day. I remember Mary, and I will always love her. Now I only have to wait 2 months. The village will come back again on the right day. I will go back. I will find her again, my love with the long black hair. And this time I will not leave before morning. I will stay with her. Nearly 10 years ago, the narrator recalls a summer adventure in the countryside. About a decade ago, they set out to escape the heat of the city, driving through the night in their red car. After running out of petrol and consulting a map, they become lost in the countryside. They encounter a beautiful girl named Mary, who guides them to her unique village where the people seem out of time, using horses and old-fashioned methods. The narrator is captivated by Mary, but is told to leave due to danger. After returning to the nearest town, they learn that the village had perished centuries ago, except for a mysterious one-day reappearance every 10 years. The narrator vows to return and be with Mary when the village reappears. The story blends elements of romance, mystery, and a touch of the supernatural. In this poignant and mysterious tale, the protagonists' longing for escape from city life and their chance encounter with Mary in the countryside sets the stage for a unique and emotional journey. The story explores themes of love, time, and the inexplicable with a village that only appears once every decade, haunted by a past from centuries ago. The narrative showcases the enduring power of love, as the protagonist is willing to wait for the village's reappearance just to be with Mary. Even though the odds seem stacked against them, the story leaves the reader with a sense of wonder and the belief that love can transcend time and reality, making it a truly memorable and thought-provoking piece of literature. These things happened to me nearly 10 years ago. At that time, I lived in a big city. The summers there were very hot, and I wanted a change. I wanted to see the countryside, walk in the woods, and enjoy the green trees and fresh air. I had a small red car and a map. One night, I decided to leave the city and drive into the country. I drove all night, and I felt very happy and free. Early in the morning, the countryside looked beautiful. The sky was blue, the sun was bright, and I could hear birds singing in the trees. Suddenly, my car stopped. What's wrong? I thought. Then I understood. I had no petrol. I would have to walk and find a town. But when I looked at my map, I realized I wasn't near any town. I was completely lost. Then I saw a girl. She was walking slowly down the road with flowers in her hands. She wore a long dress, and her long black hair shone in the sunlight. She was very beautiful. I got out of my car and said, "Hello, I'm lost. Where am I?" She looked a little afraid, so I spoke softly. "I don't have any petrol. Where can I get some?" She smiled gently and said, "I don't know, but come with me to the village. Perhaps we can help you." I walked with her for a long time. Soon we arrived at a small old village. The houses were tiny and black and white, and there were many animals around. She invited me into her house. Inside, the house was clean but strange. There was a wood fire, and food was cooking above it. I met her parents. They were kind people, but their clothes looked very old-fashioned. The old man gave me a drink. It was dark and very strong. I asked him about petrol, but he didn't understand the word. "Petrol? What is that?" he asked. I was surprised. Then I asked if they walked everywhere. "No," he said. "We use horses." I stayed there all day and had dinner with them. That evening, I went into the garden with the girl. Her name was Mary. We talked happily for a long time, but after a while, she became quiet and sad. "Why are you sad?" I asked. "I cannot tell you," she said softly. "You must leave tonight. It is dangerous here." I didn't understand, but I knew I loved her. I told her, "I will go to the next town, get petrol, and come back to you." She said goodbye to me at the door. Her face looked very sad. I walked all night until I reached a town. At a garage, I got some petrol and asked about the village. The man looked surprised. "What village?" he asked. I described it to him. He thought for a moment and then said, "There was a village there a long time ago, but it burned down hundreds of years ago. Everyone died." I was shocked. He told me soldiers killed the villagers during a war about 350 years ago. Then I remembered the old clothes, the horses, and the fire in the house. The man continued, "People say the village appears again for one day every 10 years. After that day, it disappears." Suddenly I understood. Mary told me to leave because she wanted to save me. I went back to find the village, but it was gone. There were only trees, flowers, and silence. I sat on the ground and cried. I will never forget Mary. I still love her, and I will wait, because one day the village will return again, and I will go back to find her. 10 years passed slowly. Every year, I remembered Mary. I never forgot her face, her long black hair, and her sad smile at the door that night. My friends told me to forget the story. They said it was only a dream, but I knew it was real. I counted the months, then the weeks, then the days. At last, the right day came again. I drove back to the countryside in my little red car. This time I brought plenty of petrol with me. I arrived before sunset and waited near the place where I first saw her. At first, there was nothing, only trees, grass, and wind. Then slowly, as the evening light faded, something strange happened. Shapes appeared in the distance. Houses, fences, smoke rising into the air. The village was coming back. My heart began to beat fast. I walked down the road. The animals were there again. The small black and white houses stood quietly. It was exactly the same. And then I saw her. Mary was standing on the road, holding flowers in her hands. She looked at me and smiled. "You came back," she said softly. "I promised," I answered. She looked worried. "You must leave before morning," she said. "You know what will happen." I shook my head. "No. This time I will not leave you again." Tears filled her eyes. "If you stay," she whispered, "you can never return to your world." I looked at the sky. The night was calm and full of stars. "My world is with you," I said. We walked together to her house. Her parents welcomed me warmly, as if they had been waiting for me for many years. Midnight passed. Then the first light of morning began to appear. The air grew very still. The village became quiet. The wind stopped. Mary held my hand tightly. "Are you afraid?" she asked. "No," I said. "Not with you." The sun rose. For a moment, everything shone in bright golden light. And then the modern road, the outside world, and the passing time all disappeared. The village remained. I was no longer a visitor. I stayed with Mary. People in the nearby town still say that sometimes late at night, a traveler can see a small old village in the fields for a short moment. And if they look very carefully, they may see a man and a girl walking together in the garden, happy and never saying goodbye again.